Hello, hello, hello. This is Talking Manchester United, a United Stand podcast with myself, Paul. Do you know what I almost said with myself, Ash Burns?
Do it, it's fine. We'll change roles today.
I'm not even going to start again. With myself, Paul Gardner, and joining me as always is Ash Burns. Ash, how are you, my friend?
Very good, mate. Very good. Yeah, decent week. Weather's getting better. It's all looking up, isn't it? How about yourself?
It is. Well, we're still winning games. I say we're winning again, shall I say?
Yeah.
No, not bad, mate. I'm all good. The anticipation is killing me for Sunday. I just wanted to hurry up and come round and get a victory, get the 3 points, and confident of it this week. But yeah, we'll talk about the Chelsea game first of all, though. The 2-0 victory in the FA Cup. Last week, wasn't it? We'd done the prediction, and like the PSG game, I was a little bit on the pessimistic side, wasn't I? If I remember correctly, I did think we would lose the game, but we needed a response, didn't we? It was the first defeat that Ollie had experienced in charge of United, and one of the big tests was, how would he and how would the team bounce back from that? And I think they did in great fashion. 2-0 victory, 2 fantastic goals. We'll go into more detail in a moment. But what were your thoughts on the game, Ash?
Yeah, I thought it was superb from pretty much start to finish. I said during the game, well, just towards the end of the game, I thought everyone was at least an 8 out of 10. I thought everyone on the pitch, we were better than Chelsea. We dominated the midfield. That midfield, again, was fantastic. A few individual performances, but it wasn't one of those that we've discussed, over the last maybe couple of seasons where the individual performances of certain players have got us through. I thought everyone worked as a cohesive unit, and I thought the tactics.
It was the best team performance that I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I think everyone. It seemed as though everyone was well drilled. Everyone knew exactly what we were going out to do. And everyone executed it perfectly. There was one or two little, scares, but when you're facing quality like Chelsea have got, it's going to happen. But I thought going forward, I thought we were fine, but we've seen that a lot. But I thought defensively, I thought we were fantastic. I really did. I thought the unit looked, really, really solid. And a few before, I thought Lindelof was great, and I thought Chris Smalling, I give him no end of stick most times, but he was phenomenal. There was one moment I think where he lost Higuain in the box in the first half, where Higuain had a free header, but literally apart from that, I thought he was immaculate.
Well, I said that last week, didn't I, in the preview, that Higuain's one of those players who's a proper number 9. He's got fantastic movement, and he will find space.
Yeah. And that's the only time he did, really, apart from the little breakaway he had. But he was like an asthmatic ant with some heavy shopping trying to get through on net. When he was never getting there. So yeah, apart from that, I thought the back four was fantastic. Ashley Young, he frustrated me in the first maybe 15, 20 minutes to the first half, but I thought second half we were much better. And yeah, it was across the park. Obviously, there's a few standout performers who were fantastic, but yeah, overall I thought the squad was great, really, really solid, and I think it stands us in good stead, being as we've got a certain amount of injuries at the moment. I think this stands us in good stead to really know what game plan we're going to take to Sunday. So yeah, very, very impressive.
And I think it was a great team performance, and it was the same from like you say, right from the defence right through to the attack, because in that game I thought it was our best team performance, but I think it was like that in a clinical and disciplined way.
Yeah.
But obviously, the first half we got the 2 goals we need. We didn't have that many chances, especially in the second half.
Yeah.
But we still got the 2 goals, and we had to be clinical, and we were.
Yeah.
And discipline as well in the defensive setup, I thought was absolutely perfection.
Yeah.
Absolute perfection. Even the likes of Paul Pogba. And I think this is probably more to do with the way that we set up in the game. We didn't really have wingers, so to speak. It was more of at times it looked like a diamond.
Yeah.
It's probably safe to say it was a diamond, with Matic at the base, and then Massa at the spearhead of the diamond. And I thought it worked really well. And it sort of meant that Pogba was on the left of the diamond.
Yeah.
And because he was the widest player, he kind of had to come back. But he doesn't have to do it very often, and I think he did it very well against Chelsea. Several times he got back, he was making blocks, he was going out going out wide to help Luke Shaw. And I thought, watching, I thought this is one of his best performances all round. But that was good to see as well. Now, when you look at the possession stats, that's the only thing that bugs me, and has bugged, although it didn't against Chelsea, and I'll go into that in just a moment. But normally, I absolutely cannot stand it. It boils my blood when we go to a team like Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, any of the big six, Spurs, and we get dominated in possession. I absolutely cannot stand it. I hate it. But that game against Chelsea, I didn't care.
Yeah.
Because normally when we get dominated like that, we concede about 20 shots and we often get beat.
Yeah.
Against the top six teams. But against Chelsea, it just wasn't like that. We were absolutely fantastic. For all of their possession, they only had 2 shots on target in the whole game.
Yeah.
And no clear-cut chances. These are stats that I've got online, obviously.
Yeah.
I did watch the game, but it was counting. You know what I mean? 2 shots in 70% possession. We had 30% possession, obviously. If you struggle, you think that could be maths. And we had 5 shots on target. You know what I mean? We were just a better team all round.
Yeah.
And that coupled with the fact of how good we were and how organised we were, I just didn't care about that 70-30% possession stat, because we did everything just brilliantly and won the game. We kind of made it look easy, really, didn't we? To be fair.
Yeah, we did.
Now, what do you think of Juan Mata playing in that position? Because we give him a lot of stick. It's not always been his fault, because we have always said he's not a winger. He shouldn't be playing out there. And a lot of people have now been saying, he's past it. He doesn't offer anything. He should be sold. Blah 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 blah. But they're saying that on the back of saying, but he's being played out of position. Now we've seen what he can do playing in that number 10 role. I thought he had a good game.
Yeah.
He wasn't brilliant by any stretch of the word, but I thought he was very effective. Probably the best word to use, and he did play a crucial part in that first goal as well. The little 1-2s with Lukaku in the middle,
and shifted out wide,
and then shifting out wide to Pogba, and then running around the back of Pogba, creating space for Pogba, allowing Pogba to get that crossing. What was your rating of Mata in that game?
Yeah, decent. I didn't think he set the world on fire, but yeah, again, solid. But the thing with Juan Mata, I love Juan Mata, but in this system that we've played, I don't want to see him. I really don't. I don't think he fits into a front 3 system at all. He hinders us more than he helps us. But if we're going to go maybe in the bigger game, especially while Lingard and Martial are injured, if we're going to go with a diamond, like we said, Matic at the base, Mata spearheading, and then Lukaku and Rashford up front, or whoever, it might be Sanchez, whatever. If he's going to play behind 2 forwards, I'm all for that. I am. I love playing with a number 10. I think it opens up so many doors, especially if the fullbacks push on as well. I think it gives us so much more opportunity for a little intricate, clever player like Mata to pick the passes. I expected more of him because that is his predominant position, but he did well. He did link the play well, as you rightly said. He was involved in that first goal pretty heavily. So if we're going to continue playing him at all in Lingard and Martial's absence, I want to see him in the number 10 role because we know he can flourish. We know he's got the intelligence and the technique to play there. So yeah, decent but not amazing.
Now let's move on to Ander Herrera.
Yes.
What a player he has been under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Yeah.
I mean, he's been a fantastic player for us in the past. Season before last, he was one of our players of the year. He struggled a bit last season. I suppose didn't get much game time really compared to the season before. But once again, another, I think, 10 out of 10 performance. He epitomises box-to-box midfielder. Fantastic run for the goal, and he was doing that all game. Even when Pogba scored his goal, when Rashford was playing the ball over, you could see Herrera making that run again around to the back post, completely unmarked. And so, yeah, what was your thoughts on Herrera?
Oh, I love him. I love that man. I thought he was. I agree with you. 10 out of 10. I thought he was unbelievable. I thought he covered the area as well. I thought he shut Jorginho down really, really well. And it was just typical of Herrera for the first goal. I mean, he had a fantastic shot on goal actually before the goal. Before he scored, which he's winding that one up, and I've gone, oh God, and don't shoot. But no, fair play. It was a great shot, and I think it was less than a minute before the goal. He was back in our own box defending sort of a little link-up play with Chelsea. I'm sure he got the block in or something, or an interception, and then less than a minute later, he's putting the ball in the back of the net. So, yeah, as you said, box-to-box midfielder. In this system, in that midfield three, I think he is arguably as important as Paul Pogba in that midfield, just for the balance that he gives us. You know, Matic is... We know he's not agile, we know he's not energetic, but he reads the games well, and he sits in front of that back four and screens it. Paul Pogba just wants to attack. Yeah, you crack on and you do that. And then Ander just gives us the best of both worlds. He can do everything. I love his tempo about the game. He's always looking to move the ball quickly. He's always moving into space when he releases the ball. And he's just so intelligent. And he wasn't at his shithouse best, we'll call it, which was nice to see. Which was nice to see from him. It was nice to see him just carry on with his game. As much as we love his will to win.
I'm sure Eden Hazard appreciated that as well.
Yeah. But no, I thought he was absolutely unbelievable. And if I'd love him to continue. We know we don't want to talk about consistency and jumping the gun and this, that, and the other. But I'd love him to be consistent. If he can continue along these lines and keep consistent and put performances in around that level week in, week out, I'd give him the captain's armband.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew that was where you were going with that.
And I genuinely would. I'm not going to say it now because I don't want to use the term flash in the pan. But we want consistency. Our captain has to be consistent. But for everything else, I think he's got it. He just needs to get that consistency, and maybe it'll come in this system. I don't know, but even afterwards, you see him pushing Sanchez, and even his post-match comments, including Alexis Sanchez, a player who's been frustrated, who's been down really on his luck and not in form. He's even praising him, and Sanchez didn't really do anything when he came on, but Anders still giving him confidence, still building the team up. And he absolutely loves the club, and he'd die for the shirt. So he would be the perfect captain. He just needs to get that consistency into his game. And if he does that, he's nailed on armband for me. So, yeah, I love the guy. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. And you touched on the defence as well. Lindelof and Smalling, I thought those two were absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
Showing so much energy. You know me, I rate Smalling. I don't think he's the best centre-back out there. And there are be an improvement on him, but I think and Mark says this a lot on the United Stand channel as well, that he's probably our most reliable centre back that we've got. The part quality the injuries had recently, that was that's what you call a flash in the pan. Normally he's always fit, and very rarely does he ever put in a very poor performance. He's got the odd mistake in him, but I rate him as a backup for sure, definitely. And when I see him in the starting lineup, I don't panic like I do when I see Phil Jones in the starting lineup. So another fantastic performance from those two. And where I was going with that is, he's only just come back as well, Smalling.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? He's going straight into games like that and he's performing. So he deserves a lot of praise, I think.
One thing I'll say about Smalling, though, he needs to stop holding the shirts of opposition players.
Yeah.
He needs to stop it. There was 2 occasions in that Chelsea game. One was the Rudiger dive, where he throws himself backwards. And I think if Rudiger doesn't throw himself backwards, if he makes a little bit more of a meal of it about Smalling holding, he could have had a penalty. I think the fact that he throws himself like an idiot to the ground really it gets rid of his chances of getting a penalty. And he did it again.
The thing is, though, VAR was available in that game, and they even looked at it as well and said no.
And that's it. Yeah, I think they looked at that situation, and the fact that Rudiger threw himself to the ground without doing anything, I think maybe that's why VAR looked at it and went, do you know what, he's having us on there. But I think if he'd have stood his ground and let Smalling keep hold of him and, look as if he's moving towards the ball and make, the VAR and the ref aware that he's being held, I think we could have been in trouble there. So he needs to stop that. He does it every game. And he ripped David Luiz's shirt as well in the box at some point. He's all everywhere hands. But no, fair play to him. I can't knock him for his performance. So yeah, just a few little things so I know.
And I think we should give him a little shout out. He didn't have much to do, but yet another clean sheet for the world's best number 2.
Easy.
Sergio Romero.
incoming all the Barca fans kicking off about Sillerson, but no. It was funny because I was actually talking with my father-in-law. He watched the game with me, and I was saying about Romero when he first came to United and how nervous I was watching every single game when Romero played because he just knew he was going to make a balls up or something. But at the moment, I'm near enough as comfortable with Romero in goal as De Gea because he's just so solid for number 2. I think positionally he's fantastic. He's always got a great strong hand on him, and 2 good saves. I think one for the free kick and then the follow up from Pedro. So not much to do, but he's always there, and his concentration is fantastic. So I'm more than happy to keep him in the squad for the cup games. Yeah, fair play to him.
Absolutely. Well, let's move forward then. It's the big one coming up on. It's Sunday, isn't it?
It is Sunday. Yeah. Sunday.
United v Liverpool. Solskjaer versus Klopp. Take it away, brother.
Oh, this is the big one, I think, for me. We've in one of the group chats that we've got, which you're in, we've got most of the boys from the United stand there, and a lot have been talking about Solskjaer and will he get the job or won't he? Some of the boys seem to think that it's pretty much nailed on already, especially after that Chelsea game. I think that's helped his chances, but I don't know. There's just something in the back of my mind. This fixture will be a big factor in what happens. It could be wrong, but there's just something about this fixture I think that screams to me. I'm not going to say if we lose, he's not going to get it because he could go on and win every game for us. But this game, there just seems to be something about it. Liverpool, unreal form most of the season, had a little bit of a wobble of late. Not as relentless as they have been. Solskjaer winning, ridiculous amount of games, one of the best starts to any managerial career in the Premier League. And it seems to be perfectly balanced, I think. And I think with that, maybe the injuries have made it not less interesting, but a little more nervy, I'd say. But it's certainly going to be an interesting matchup. I mean, you look at Liverpool's form. What have they lost? 1 game all season to City. Played 26, won 20, and drawn 5 and lost the 1, which is a ridiculous stat at the moment. 0-0 to Bayern very recently, bit of a stalemate. And then 3-0 win against Bournemouth. And then 2 back-to-back 1-1 draws against West Ham and Leicester. And then a 4-3 win at Palace, which was a very, very close game. So
it was that loss away at Man City that started the wobble, as you called it.
Yeah, it was, and it was almost reminiscent of us a couple of seasons ago when was it last season? I can't remember when we went to Anfield and we drew 0-0. We were winning every game 4-0
season
until
before.
then. It was the season before last, I'll say.
Yeah.
We were winning every game pretty much 4-0 FC, and then we went to Anfield and we just completely collapsed on ourselves. And it was the start of our sort of little bit of a poor patch. Maybe the same with Liverpool with that City result, but who knows? But I think if we're going to play them at any time, I think now is a pretty good time to play them in terms of their form. Could come back to bite me, but I'm a little bit more optimistic now than I would have been, say, a month ago. Looking at their recent form, looking at our recent form, I think it's perfectly poised. I think the midfield is going to be such an interesting battle. I think it's really going to depend what midfield wants it more, what midfield gets control of the game early on, and I think maybe the first goal could decide the game. That's what I think. Looking at their danger men, I mean, everyone knows all about Liverpool, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So, I mean, mine were obviously the front three of Salah, Mane, and Firmino. I've chucked Virgil van Dijk in there as well, and I've chucked Wijnaldum. They're my 5 players. Everyone knows about the front 3. Obviously, with Van Dijk at the back, he could cause us issues if he's on form. With the likes of Lukaku, really only our centre forward, Rashford as well. That could be interesting. And Wijnaldum, just for his dynamism in the midfield. Plus, didn't he score against us last time we played?
Who?
Was it him? Wijnaldum?
I'm not sure. I know that Shaqiri scored 2 goals
twice
against us. Yeah.
Didn't he score the first one, Wijnaldum?
It may well have been.
Could have been.
It may well have been. Yeah.
Just put him, I think, because he does give Liverpool that balance in midfield, sort of like Herrera does with us. So yeah, they're my 5. Got anyone different?
I've got pretty much those plus several more as well, actually.
Yeah.
So obviously the front 3: Salah, Mane, Firmino. don't need to say anything about them. I put Shaqiri on there. He didn't play midweek against Bayern Munich, but he is fit, and there's talk that he might, or is very, very likely to get a decent amount of minutes against us on the weekend. You know, he's not, the best attacking player in the Premier League, but we do know that on his day, as we experienced back in December, he can be quite the pain in the ass, so to speak. So he's definitely somebody that could be considered dangerous. I've also put in Naby Keita. He hasn't done much for Liverpool up until now, but he did play some good football against Bayern Munich, and he seems to be settling in. If you listen to what the Liverpool fans are saying, they're becoming very optimistic with Naby Keita and what they've seen of him in the recent couple of games. So if he gets some minutes on the pitch, he might be a surprise and someone to watch out for. Because he was, highly coveted by several of Europe's top teams before he moved to Liverpool. And then two other players I've got on there are Liverpool's fullbacks: Trent Alexander-Arnold, and I think it's James or Andrew Robertson.
And is that Andy Robertson?
Andy Robertson, left back. Yeah, because they're both fullbacks that like to get forward. We know about Trent Alexander-Arnold. We've seen him in the England team. He's not a bad right back. Both of them, between them, I think have got about 9 or 10 assists for Liverpool in the Premier League alone. So I don't know about the other competitions. So I think they're a couple of players to watch out for as well. The Liverpool have got threats all over the pitch. They're not second in the league or joint top for no reason. And they didn't spend a good period of time at the top of the league for no reason. They've got a lot of decent players in their team. And it's looking like as well coming into the match, they don't have any injury worries. There's some talk about Firmino being ill. But from what I've been hearing and reading about today, that isn't a concern. And a lot of outlets online are putting him in their lineups. Not saying that he's a doubt or anything like that. So my guess is that they've got no injury worries coming into this game. They'll be up for it.
Yep.
And those are the players that we need to watch out for.
Yeah, it's interesting. I've actually seen quite a few Liverpool fans talking. I think not just about this game, but regarding their recent form, specifically the draws against West Ham and Leicester, following those, and they said, and it was interesting to say how they said it. That they said their front three have been covering a lot of cracks in the midfield and at the back. I don't watch Liverpool on a weekly basis. I'm pretty sure you don't either.
No,
but
I don't.
It was interesting to see how their take on how they were playing. That not necessarily. I mean, a lot of Liverpool fans obviously will think they're the best things in sliced bread. But some fans are a little bit more realistic. Maybe fans like you or myself, who look at the game objectively, and they were saying that that defensively they haven't been fantastic, albeit they've got Van Dijk, who's been pretty much unreal for them. There have been fragilities in the back line, especially through the midfield. So that was, and I've seen a lot of Liverpool fans, funny enough, saying that this Sunday they're not confident at all going into this game. I did a little bit of scouting as it was before online, but yeah, a lot. Obviously, you get the the diehards who are they're going to win every game, but there was a lot of fans saying that they were nervous and they weren't expecting a win, which is interesting. And I think it's on a knife edge. I really do.
It's not surprising when you look at their most recent form. In the last 3 games, they've drawn 2 of them.
Yeah,
and they weren't exactly difficult opposition.
No,
Leicester and I forget who.
West Ham. Yeah.
West Ham. That's it. I mean, Leicester mid-table, West Ham. Well, they're both mid-table teams, but
yeah,
you would expect Liverpool to be winning those games.
Yeah,
like you would us. I mean, now we are winning those games. But,
yeah.
Earlier on in the season,
apart from Burnley.
But then again, we were 7th or 8th back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, apart from Burnley. So yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Liverpool fans are a bit more nervous than we are. Not only that, it's at our ground.
Yeah. And
look at the form we're in. They've just watched us beat Chelsea quite comfortably.
Yeah.
Without Martial and Lingard.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And there's a good chance that one, if not both of them, could be back. I mean, they were photographed pulling into training yesterday or this morning, but that doesn't mean anything.
No.
They could just be going in for rehab, is what I was reading.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean anything, but they could be. Do you know what I mean? Depends how bad their injuries are. We'll find out tomorrow anyway.
Yeah.
When Ollie gives his press conference, although you might try and keep it under wraps. You never know. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me that Liverpool fans are a bit more nervous than we are.
Yeah, I mean, it really does beg the question: who's going to start? And this is where we come into it. Who are we going to start? What formation are we going to play? What's it all about? What are you going for?
Well, if Martial and Lingard are fit, I think that we revert back to the setup we had when they play. So Martial, Rashford, and Lingard as your front three.
Yeah.
Then the midfield obviously picks itself with Pogba, Matic, Herrera. And then the back four, Shaw, Lindelof. I put Smalling in there again. And Ashley Young. Although Diego Dallo, I think, might be worth a shout in that game, seeing as we are at home. And then obviously David De Gea in goal. If Martial and Lingard are still both out, then I think we pick the same teams that played against Chelsea.
Yeah, pretty much spot on. I'm assuming they're not going to be fit, Lingard and Martial. That's what I've heard about the place. There was obviously some speculation that they were in a race to be fit for the game, but I think that was quashed. I don't know if it was by the club, but I think sources close to the club or something said that it's almost impossible that they're not going to be fit. So yeah, same as you. I'm pretty much going for exactly the same team that we played against Chelsea. Decent shout with Dallo, solely for the pace against the front three. I think I've gone for actually Lindelof and Smalling, the same, which is rare for me to pick Chris Smalling over Bailly. But apparently Bailly could be in line to start just for the pace to cope with the front three Liverpool. That's what I've heard, but how true that is, we don't know. But yeah, as you rightly said, midfield picks itself, and then it's sort of a 4-3-1-2. I'd like to see us play, or a 4-1-2-1-2 if you want to go into that sort of thing.
Yeah.
With Mata, behind the front two, and I think we need Lukaku to have a good game. I don't think he was great against Chelsea. I thought he was quite quiet, to be honest. A few occasions where he ran the lines. I thought Rashford he put in an unbelievable cross for Pogba, but apart from that, I thought he ran the lines.
The technique behind that cross as well is just.
He just timed it to perfection, didn't he? He waited and waited and waited, and then just picks him out right between the two defenders. Unbelievable. So, and I thought he was fantastic. I thought he ran the lines really well, and I thought he gave us such a counter-attacking option, which really impeded Chelsea a little bit. There was
that run as well on Azpilicueta.
That's it. He went round him, and it was just that final cross, that left-footed cross into Lukaku, just wasn't there. But yeah, unbelievable run. So I think Rashford will have a good game. He always usually does against Liverpool anyway. It's Lukaku. I really hope Lukaku has a good game. We could see Sanchez start instead of him. I can't see it happening, just for the pace and the power of Lukaku. Hopefully to bully the back four a bit. But yeah, that's what I've gone for. Prediction.
I'm feeling optimistic with this game. It's weird, isn't it? Because against teams like Chelsea, who are quite clearly struggling at the moment, who were below us in the league, I was surprised. I wasn't that optimistic about it. Maybe that was partly to do with the fact we just lost to PSG as well. Yeah. I'm not sure. Now we're playing against Liverpool, who are joint top, and I'm optimistic. But yeah, no, I just am. I'm feeling good about this game. I got a feeling that we're going to do it. I mean, we've got a manager who 100% gets what this game is about. Everybody in world football will get what this game's about. But Solskjaer's lived it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? It's a big part of it. It was a big, massive part of his life when he was at Manchester United, and he'll get that into the players. I think we're going to want this more than they are.
Yeah,
I really do, and I think it will be a close game. It's not going to be a game where we're going to go out and win 3 or 4-0. I think it'll be 2-1. I'm going with Man United 2-1.
Okay, interesting. I've gone 1-0 United.
Fair.
95th minute Rashford winner. I'd take that. I mean, it's a couple of months ago we'd have been saying, we'd have taken a draw. But yeah, I'm a bit confident for this. I am. Not often you hear me say that against the Scousers, especially in their form at the moment. But yeah, I think you're spot on. I think we're probably going to want it more. I think Solskjaer will have absolutely, not that it needs to be done because it's Liverpool, but absolutely driven those players into the ground this week and really made them sit back and think who they're playing. Wake up, look at the opposition. This is Liverpool, for God's sake. We want to go out there and we want to batter them. So I think it's going to be a bit of a nervy game. I don't think there's going to be a load of goals, but I'm hoping we can come out on top, and I'm fairly confident. 1-0 for me.
Excellent. Well, I think that about wraps up the Liverpool preview. Unless you've got anything else you want to add, of course.
Nope, I don't think so. That's about it for me. I think we'll dominate the midfield, by the way. It's just...
Well, I think this is what it comes down to. And I was just watching, just before we started recording, I was watching Mark. He did a preview with Redmen TV. I don't know if you've seen that on YouTube, Liverpool fan account. But he was actually up there with those guys recording for the United Stand in their setup or studio, whatever they've got.
Yeah.
And I was watching it, so I thought this is different. Let's see what this is about then. And it was actually quite enjoyable to watch. And they were saying, and I agree with them as well, and I think most people will, that the game will be won in the midfield.
Yeah.
And depends who's going to play, because, like I said, you've got Naby Keita, who's, coming into his own a little bit. He had a good game against Bayern, so he could play, and he could be a threat. When on Redmen TV, they were saying, we've got Pogba, who's our sort of, what's the word they used? I don't know, like your bling of the team. Let's call it bling of the team. I think that's what they said, to be honest, which is why it's in my head. But they were saying that if Keita finds his form, he could be to them what Pogba is to us. Now, they weren't comparing him to Pogba. That would be stupid.
Yeah.
But they're saying that he would be to them what Pogba is to us. So he's their player that can be the one that steps up in the midfield and is the star of their midfield. Yeah. Which is why they brought him into the club. So I think, if they play him, he could be someone who could provide a good threat to the midfield. Wijnaldum, he to them is what Herrera is to us.
Yeah.
So he's their box to box, who's also been coming into a bit of form recently as well. And like you said, I think you're right. I think it was him that scored the first goal against us back in December.
Yeah.
That's another player to watch. And then obviously they haven't got a clue who's going to sit in
Hendo, I think.
In front of the defence, whether it's going to be Henderson, who also had a good game against Bayern apparently, or Fabinho. And we all know what Fabinho can do.
Yeah.
So they've got a strong midfield as well. But I do think that if Herrera can put in another 10 out of 10 performance, if Pogba can be Pogba, then I think we've got a very good chance in dominating the midfield and therefore taking the game. I do think it's going to be won in that midfield.
Yeah, I agree, and I don't think we're going to have to worry about Herrera. I think he's going to do the business himself. I think the player we have to watch is Matic.
That's why I didn't mention him.
yeah, and it is. I mean, it is the elephant in the room, and he can blow hot and cold at times. I thought in the PSG game, for that first half an hour, I thought he was unbelievable. I thought it was everywhere. His energy levels and his reading of the game was fantastic. We need that against Liverpool. I thought he didn't really need it against Chelsea. He was okay. He was fairly decent, but I thought the main men were obviously Herrera and Pogba. But he's going to need to get involved in the game because that midfield, pushing forward to the front three, him screening that back four is going to be so important for us. And I think we'll see. We saw Herrera played in a more offensive role. I think we'll see him more in a defensive role against Liverpool, just to provide that cover from the front for the front three of Liverpool, which I'm hoping doesn't isolate Pogba too much, and we see him go missing a little bit. But you don't know. I think we'll dominate the midfield. I'm hoping we'll win the game. So let's have it.
We'll soon find out. Well, let's take it over to Twitter then, shall we?
We can indeed. So, as usual, tweeting out yesterday, recording the podcast. What would you like us to discuss? Top of the shop then, Matthew McFadden. Why is Ander Herrera not the captain yet? reflects my sentiment perfectly.
I mean, you did mention, you did speak a bit about that earlier, didn't you? Well, look, I mean, who's the captain at the moment? Ashley Young, isn't it?
Yep.
I don't think that Solskjaer is going to strip Young of the captaincy, especially considering the fact that Young at the moment is a mainstay at right back, first choice right back. So he's going to be playing a lot of minutes, and we all know how much of a personality Young is amongst the players, and he's liked by a lot of them, respected by a lot of them. He's not the captain for no reason. So I don't think that that's going to change whilst Young is still playing. But what I do think, though, is that Ander Herrera should be given the vice-captaincy role. So if ever Young's being rested or if he gets injured, then absolutely 100% it should be given to Ander Herrera.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Ashley Young is very vocal and he plays from the back.
I think Pogba would also make a great captain.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's that consistency for me. I don't know why I've always had a really big thing about captains being consistent, and I don't know where I get it.
Well, no, I think it's a common sense thing, really, isn't it?
Yeah,
you can't have a captain who's never playing.
Yeah, and I think it's a testament to really how they want the other players around them to perform. Everyone needs to be given 100%. I mean, questions have been asked of Pogba in the past. Obviously, a lot of that boiled down to Mourinho and their relationship. Since Ole's taken over, he is the most informed player in Europe, or in the world. Then I suppose I keep doing that about Europe, best player in Europe. Well, what better leagues are outside Europe? So is the world. So yeah, that's what the stats were telling us. Since Ole's taken over, no player has been more directly involved in as many goals as Paul Pogba has, which is very interesting. And he continued that against Chelsea. So yeah. I think if he continues it, then he'd be a great candidate for the captain as well. But he just needs to keep that consistency. Young plays from the back as well, so he can read the game. I don't know. Does he read the game well? I don't know. Let's just hope he has a good game. Yeah. United be right. Do you think the better the results and performances under Ole, the less money he'll get in the summer if he stays?
I don't necessarily think that's the case. I think whoever comes in isn't going to get a lot of money. We always hear, "Oh, man, now they're going to have a
454 million.
Chest. Yeah, do you know what I mean?
For Neymar, do you hear that today?
Yeah, well, last 2 years it's been Neymar. We've been linked to Bale again in the last few days. I've been seeing that pop up. I'm surprised we're not been linked to Ronaldo again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous. But I think whoever takes charge isn't going to get a great deal of money anyway. We probably only make 2 or 3 signings. There might be one big money signing and a couple of little ones. But yeah, we don't like to spend a lot of money, that's a silly thing to say. We spent loads of money.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, if we want to start challenging on all fronts, and if we wanted to do that next season, we would need to spend a shed load.
Yeah.
And spend it correctly.
Yeah.
But we won't do that. That's fine. I can live with that. It's just unrealistic to expect us to go out there and spend you're probably looking at least 400 million. Do you know what I mean? If top class talent comes at 80, 90 million plus nowadays, standard, do you know?
Yeah.
2 players, you're spending almost 200 million.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It's just ridiculous money. And but no, I don't think the results will have any bearing on how much money he gets in the summer. I think he could win every game from now until the end and still only get a budget of 200.
Yeah.
Lose every game, and whoever comes in next, because if he loses every game now, he's not going to get the job.
No.
But whoever comes in next, especially if it's Pochettino, might not get any money.
Because we know.
The board knows what he can do without any money.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I don't think it'll have any impact on how much he gets. The thing is, like you said, we need quite a few signings if you want to be challenging on all fronts. And realistically, we're looking at 2 or 3. And I don't mind if we go into this summer and only buy 2 or 3 players. But like you said, they need to be the right players. We've done too much faffing about in the market, bringing in players that either don't play or we don't need or don't fit into our system. So we need to establish where we're taking the club, what direction, what style of football we want to play, what ethos we have, and how are we going to build around that. Because Fred, £52 million bench warmer, where is he? I don't know where he is.
Vanished.
You look at Dalot, he's not really getting minutes. I know he's still young, but we've really only got one left back in the first team. That's it. And we've got 2 failed wingers at right back then. So
that's right. Yeah.
So he, I'm surprised he hasn't had more minutes. Yes, he was poor against Fulham when he played, but the only way he's going to improve if he plays more. So yeah, as long as we invest in the right players, I don't mind only getting a couple, because obviously you're not going to, especially with the Glazers at the helm, you're not going to build an entire team in just one transfer window. So yeah, I don't mind that, but I don't think it'll have any impact on him. Ike Yaguala, until the club appoints a director of football, I'm not convinced Solskjaer or any manager appointed long term will concede. Convince me otherwise.
Concede or succeed?
What did I say? Succeed.
You said concede.
Oh, don't start. Yeah. I'm starting to say concede before Sunday. Don't start. Succeed. Yeah, sorry.
To be honest, I don't even think a director of football is going to help massively. At the end of the day, the buck stops with the Glazers. They're the ones that make the decision. I mean, if they can't trust the football club manager to identify a player as a player that's needed, why are they going to suddenly put their trust in a director of football?
Yeah,
that's what I don't understand. I mean, Mourinho identified that we needed a centre back, which we do. But the club, no, we've got all the centre backs we've got are good enough. Well, they're not.
No, they're really
There's a couple that could be. I mean, let's have a look. Phil Jones, obviously, he's no good.
No,
Lindelof's coming into his own. Bailly's liability. I don't think he's got a future at the club. It's sad to say because you know what he's capable of, but I just don't think he's safe. No. If that makes sense. Chris Smalling, he's good, he's decent, but we could do so much better.
Yeah.
But again, the board like, no, there's no one out there that's better than the ones you've got now. Rubbish. Now a director of football comes in, says the same thing. Are the Glazers going to suddenly go, oh, okay then, here's 100 million, go and buy one?
Yeah.
I just don't see it. I don't see what. I mean, obviously, that's not the only job they're going to have. Transfers. There's other aspects of the other areas in the club as well that they will, act as a barrier. But I just don't think that it will have a massive difference on the long-term success of managers. I think the long-term success of managers is whether or not they're given and they're backed properly, but also trusted.
Yeah.
To make decisions about the team, about the club. Mourinho wasn't trusted. Okay, that's not totally true. He was to a point, but again, you got to back the manager.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and they didn't, and they ultimately sacked him. So I don't know. My mind's not made up entirely on the director of football, but I just can't see it making a huge difference. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm with you halfway there. I don't know if a director of football will, determine the success of a manager. Probably not. But I'm all for having a director of football. Just solely for the fact to get Ed Woodward out of the footballing business and stick him on commercial and money making schemes for the Glazers and for the club, because that's what it's going to be, isn't it?
I suppose in a way, then, director of football, we probably wouldn't have all these contracts running down. So
yeah.
Right to the very end and struggling to get people to sign.
Yeah.
I expect with the director of football, that sort of thing will probably be taken care of a lot quicker.
Well, it's just, I think Ed Woodward he's got too many balls up in the air at the moment. He's trying to do so many different things. And a lot of those things that what he's not qualified in and what he's not very good at. So I think, Ed Woodward, I think, is still a massive asset to Manchester United in a business sense. Obviously, a lot of fans won't want to hear that, but there's no doubt. I don't think there's many people in the world that could do a better job, in making money for the club. Granted, it's going in the Glazers' pockets, but it's still, adding to the club's overall value. And ultimately, when we sell, hopefully, if we sell, it's going to be worth a massive amount of money. So, I mean, and that, ultimately has led to a lot of our success as well, being one of the richest clubs in the world. So, You can't knock that, but yeah, in a footballing sense, we need to have someone who understands the club, who understands the game, and like you said, who can, concentrate on doing things like sorting contracts, getting scouting reports from the scouts and looking into new talent and, and making the right choices.
But why can't the manager be trusted with that?
I mean, again, does it go around, come back to too many balls up in the air? Is it, the manager should be working on a day-to-day basis?
A director of football is a relatively new thing.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Ferguson never had a director of football. Everything was done by him.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I mean, he earned that.
Yeah.
The trust of the club, but we never had. I just don't think it's needed. I just think the buck stops with the Glazers.
Yeah.
If they appoint a director of football, it's just going to be another Ed Woodward. It's just going to be a puppet for them to, string puppet for them.
Yeah.
It'll just be another person like that, another no man, another person just to say no.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's all it'll be.
Yeah. Yeah, I see your point, and it's one.
But I could be completely wrong. The Glazers might suddenly be like, "Oh yeah, go on, there you go."
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? But
yeah, do what you want. We'll trust you.
Yeah, I don't know, but and I think it would, in a sense, what I always thought with Mourinho as well. He needed someone there to back him up, and I think because the Glazers are so hell bent on rinsing every penny they can, and penny pinching and whatnot, and really running it as a business. If you had that extra body in there to say, well, do you know what? If you want to make money, this football club has to be successful at the end of the day. To really maximize your earnings, because that's the way you're going to play to them, I suppose, isn't it?
But you could also say to that these are intelligent people. They should know that. They shouldn't have to have someone say, they shouldn't have to have someone to tell them that.
No, but
I know what you're saying.
Yeah,
but...
it's one of, that would be one of the biggest pluses for me, was having someone on side with the manager to back him up with any choices that he wants to make. Or any sort of direction he wants to take in terms of transfers or whatever. But will it happen? I don't know. Probably not, to be honest. We know the Glazers.
Yeah, and I don't think the Glazers are going to employ someone to be on the side of the manager.
Yeah.
To employ someone to go against them.
Yeah, exactly. So,
just don't see it.
No. We're right. Again, says, because of the recent Jadon Sancho rumours, would you bring in someone like him or Bergwijn on the right, or do you promote to Heath Chong and give him time?
We've got to bring someone in, I think, for the right wing, because it might take Chong a season or two to really reach his best, and we need someone now.
Yeah,
we've gone too long with that side of our attack. It was no. Do you know what I mean? I think we do need to bring someone in now. Who that's going to be? Well, the list is quite long when it comes to right-sided attackers. But yeah, I mean, Sancho is obviously one option. But there's a lot out there. But I do think it's too early to be throwing Chong in there as the main right-sided attacker.
Yeah. I mean, I'd love him to get some minutes, but yeah, I think it's.
Oh, of course, absolutely, yeah, definitely.
I think it's a little bit early, as you rightly said. We've struggled with that side for so long. We need an established. I'd even go as far as saying world-class talent at there. We need to win games. You score goals, and at the moment, not a lot is coming from our right-hand side. In terms of goal output, plenty of assists, but yeah, not enough goals. I mean. Yeah, you look at Jadon Sancho. Will he go? I don't know, to be honest. I very much doubt it. Being as Dortmund have just sold Pulisic to Chelsea, one of their golden boys as well. I don't know if he'll go. Bergwijn, PSV winger, I think. Hasn't he scored he's contributed in 21 goals in 21 games, I think, 9 goals and 12 assists or something.
I did not know.
Yeah, I think he's only 20-21 as well. Very good player, but again, it's a gamble. I think going for a young, talented player. We've done that. We've got plenty of young, talented players in our reserves and youth teams. But yeah, I think we need a world class, established star to come in and take that mantle straight away.
No, I agree.
The one about the Google Play Store, which you answered, and then Cam Ballocks. Is it too early to be talking about transfers as we haven't got a permanent manager?
Yes, you know me when it comes to talking about transfers. If it ain't the transfer window, it's too early.
Yeah, Yeah, I agree. I suppose if they were to announce Ole's got the job now, I think maybe then he could start working on players that he wants to bring in. And there was rumours last week that Woodward has pretty much already given him the job, which frustrates me slightly. Not that I don't, wouldn't like to see Ole in charge, because if he continues doing the job he's doing, great. But I think it's another knee-jerk reaction from the board and Woodward if it is true. I think we need to give this time. We need to give it till May to establish where we are and whatnot. I don't want to be tying anyone down to long-term contracts or anything now. Let's let it breathe. Let's see where we are in May and then make a decision, I'd say.
And we're at a crucial point in the season as well. We've just snuck into the top 4. We're in some fantastic form at the moment. The players are really putting in shifts week in, week out. The manager's working wonders. He's proving every week that he is capable of doing the job.
Yeah.
If he was to suddenly be given the manager's job now, all of a sudden, a big sigh of relief. And dare I say it, foot comes off the pedal just ever so slightly.
Yeah.
Things get a bit comfortable, a little bit complacency creeps in. Do you know what I mean? I think right now, just keep everyone guessing, keep everyone fighting.
Yeah.
Until the end of the season, and then make a decision, make an announcement.
Yeah, spot on. Nail on the head.
It's quite sad to say that, isn't it? Really,
it is.
Gets the job, all of a sudden become complacent, and we start dropping points. It sounds bad to say that, but it's happened.
I mean,
with other clubs.
Yeah, keep fighting, keep them on the edge, and keep that hunger there. I suppose, isn't it? That's the way.
That'll be the smart thing to do.
Yeah, ruthlessness. And jumping over to the next tweet, Alex Robbins at alrob87. Which big game Pogba will we get? The one that turned us around against City last season, or the one that fell apart and got sent off against PSG? I'm assuming he means for Liverpool. Interesting question.
Yeah, I'm interested in that last part. I mean, big game Pogba against City. Yeah, I mean, he's had a couple of big games this season against big opposition as well. But I don't think he fell apart against PSG. I don't know how you feel about that, Ash.
He was unlucky, I thought, but he deserved to get sent off. But
I'm not disputing the fact that he deserved to get sent off. But I don't think he fell apart.
Yeah,
I thought that and this is the same with Martial as well. I thought for the majority, if not all of the game, both of those players were isolated.
Yeah.
They obviously, Marquinhos on Pogba, he was on him the whole game, didn't give him an inch of space. And the same with Martial as well. He wasn't given an inch. I think both of them were isolated in the game. But the sending off, he was doing something that he does many times in every game, and that's to try and get his body across the ball. And it was unfortunate to catch. What's his face? Alves. Yeah. Unlucky just to catch him on the inside of his knee. And the studs were up. His foot was quite high. Over the top of the ball, that's the rule. If it's over the top of the ball and the studs are up, it's a red card. I mean, that was definitely a red card, but I don't think he fell apart. I don't think he was malicious in it. It's not like he was getting frustrated and two-footed him or anything like that. Then I would say, he probably fell apart, lost his rag, but I didn't see any of that. But in essence, to answer your question, I think we will get the big game Pogba.
Yeah, I agree. I think he's going to be well up for this. I think the intensity is really going to show through. I think, for most of this season, for the tenure under Ole so far, I thought we've been really energetic, first to the ball most of the time, and I think it's going to be even more, energetic and I think more aggressive, being as it's Liverpool. I really do. I think the players are going to be massively fired up for this, especially coming off a frustrating loss against PSG, then a really, solid win against Chelsea. I think those two fixtures, sort of almost back to back, are going to be a little bit of a springboard for them. It's that little bit of doubt and then that massive boost of confidence again. So they've got sort of the best of both worlds in the back of their mind. Not to get complacent like they did in times against PSG, but obviously that winning mentality that they got against Chelsea. So. Yeah, I think it'll be the big game Pogba, providing we play in the right way. I don't know how the formation will suit Pogba. Yes, Pogba had a great game against Chelsea, but I thought at times he he was maybe a little bit isolated. I'm hoping we don't see that against Liverpool, but I think he'll show up. I really do. I think he'll show up big time.
Yeah, definitely.
And then finally, Ike Iguala, without Pogba, how on earth is Ole going to mastermind a win in Paris? McTominay, Mata, Pereira, Fred, who gets the nod? And then he adds, not much concern about the Liverpool game. I just know we're going to win. That's how confident Ole's got me feeling.
Yeah, we're with you on the Liverpool game, Ike. Yeah, good question about PSG. The short answer would be Ole is not going to mastermind a win in Paris. There's my pessimism setting in once again. But I just think that PSG are too strong for us. I really do, and we're going to be at their ground as well this time.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get slaughtered at all. I think Ollie will think of something. Ollie, Mike, and the team between them, they'll come up with a way of giving us a good chance to do something in the game. I don't know what, I don't know how. We might see a similar setup to the game against Chelsea. To be honest, I just have no idea. I have no idea. But without Pogba, that takes away a huge goal threat from our play. Like you said earlier, he's been involved in so many goals. That if you took him out of the team, we probably would still be down in 6th or 7th at the moment. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So without him in the team, it's going to be very difficult, and I don't think that we're going to win 3-0.
We're not. We're going to win 3-1. McTominay hat trick, easy. It's done. no. In all seriousness, I think we're going to win in Paris, but I don't think we're going to go through. I don't know why, but away from home against bigger teams, I think we've been brilliant. You look at Chelsea, Arsenal, Spurs. Going to these. Obviously, PSG is a massive step up again from them. But I think being as it's away from home, being as PSG are going to be really comfortable now, 2-0 up, and being as we're going to have nothing to lose, I think we could sneak a win. I don't think, obviously, I don't think we're going to go through, but I think we could sneak a cheeky 1-0 or a 2-1 or something. I don't know why. I said I was confident against them last time. That didn't work. But no, I just think with the pressure off, with them pretty comfortable, and maybe a little bit of surprise from us, we could snatch a win. But I don't see us getting battered at all in that second leg.
No, I don't see that either. But yeah, well, I think that was the last one, unless there's another.
It was. No, that was it. That is all good.
Excellent. Well, thank you to everyone who tweeted us. We do appreciate it. Ash, do you want to give out your Twitter details?
Yeah, it's at Ashbio, ASHBOIO.
Self as well. It's at Paul Gardiner MU. Also follow the Talking Manchester United Twitter account at United Stand Pod, and also the main United Stand account at United Stand MUFC. If you're listening on YouTube, please give us a like, subscribe, and drop some comments below as well. Let us know what you think. Give us your thoughts on the topics we've discussed today, Chelsea, Liverpool. And I think that wraps it up. And whilst you're on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to Van Cam and Red Bearded Red, 2 great Manchester United accounts. You will love them. But from me and Ash, I think that's everything. Cheers, Ash.
Thank you, as always.
And we'll be back hopefully next Thursday. Well, we should be. I don't see any reason why we wouldn't. Cheers, then.